Alright, let's do a basic Johnny Cage guide. So, we'll try to keep it somewhat structured, but I'll probably talk about a lot of different ideas and like game plans and stuff, but we'll try to go in order. We'll talk about the buttons, we'll talk about the specials, and we'll talk about just how to formulate your offense, and then a little bit of mid-screen combos and corner combos. And at the end, we'll probably talk about cameos and different good pairings, but to start off, anytime you're learning a new character, I'd recommend just going to the basic attack section, and you're just going to want to tag all your normals that look like different, you know, so like these two, anything that is like the same, if it starts with like the red text here, these are all like extensions of the same like string, essentially. So like forward 1, forward 1, 2, forward 1, 2, 3, forward 1, 2, 4. They all start off the forward 1, so that's why that one's red. So just find the ending string or whatever, just tag it. And you don't have to tag like, you know, pokes like down 1, down 3, down 4. You don't have to tag down 2. That's going to be relatively the same on every character. Go through, pin everything, just to get familiar with it. He's got a couple more moves, we'll just go back for it. So, the reason you want to pin all this stuff, not only is to like learn the strings, obviously, but what you should do is you should be putting the AI on block all, and you just want to see the frame data of your moves. So anything that's -7 or below is going to be like generally safe in this game, with a few exceptions. And then anything that's like -8 or above is going to be punishable. And then anything that's not minus is plus, and plus is good because that means you essentially get 4 frames to act before they can. And that's really potent with Johnny. That's one of like his best game plans, is just being plus a lot of the time and making people scared of your mid. So let's just run through the strings. So you got stand 1, which is +4, which is amazing. +4, and this button is a 7-frame startup, so it's like just a free plus frame machine, like +4. And what's great about this, not to skip ahead too much, but +4, and then your mid is 9 frames. So you can actually jail into your mid. And I'll showcase what that looks like real quick. So jailing just means they are forced to block, they cannot duck, they cannot press a button, or else it'll get stuffed. So right here, since he's on reversal down 1, whenever he gets a chance, whenever there's a gap, he'll down 1, right? If I like stand 1, so say I'm trying to stagger, say I like 1-1 and then 2-1, right? There's a gap there, so he'll just down 1 me. But if I just do stand 1 into immediate forward 3, which is the mid, since I'm +4 and the mid is 9 frames, he gets hit before he can down 1. So that's really strong with Johnny, because you kind of get them almost trapped if they block too much, and then if they try to press, you know, you can get a whole combo on them. So that's something that's really OP on Johnny, honestly. And you know, you can do it in a multitude of ways, really. You could, like, there's a lot of mind games behind this, because once you condition them to block, like, most players should know they can't down 1 against Johnny, or they shouldn't, because, you know, you risk that happening. And that's going to be a full combo most of the time, you know. But if they're blocking and respecting too much, you know, then you could just grab them after. You know, you stand one, forward throw, free. And then also, you know, if you want to get creative with it, you know, you can even like, Johnny's really good at like backdashing and punishing certain things too. So you could like forward one, backdash, you know, stuff like that. So there's a lot of, you're gonna get a lot of mileage out of this mid, you know. Whether you want to like backdash and punish something with it, or you want to just, you know, frame trap them, the stand one. It's really good. So let's go back to talking about the buttons as a whole. So stand one string, 1-1, still +1, that's whatever. But it ends with 1-1-4. Not really the best thing to do, because if you do the full thing, you can't get interrupted because there's a gap there. So they could armor it, they could down one. 1-1-2, no gap, it's just high mid-mid. It's not bad to do. But you're purposefully like giving up plus frames, you know, like you're ending on -5 where you could just be +4. So like a lot of the times I'll just opt into using just the stand one, because you could do so much after that. You know, you stand one, and then you could, if they're not pressing right away, you could go into your standing 2 string, go straight into your mid. Like I said earlier, go for some throws. You know, there's so much you can do just off the stand one. So the stand one string's okay, but like just the stand one on its own is like phenomenal. Next we got forward 1 +3. Again, really good because you can do what I've been showcasing. You can do forward 1, backdash into the mid. And then it has 2 enders, so forward 1, 2, 4 is gonna be a double hitting overhead. It's -12, so it's unsafe, but it does give you a combo if it hits. Not great damage, but you know, it is what it is. And forward 1, 2, 3 is going to be like the safe option. If you know, you go for this and you see that they blocked it, you could just end it with this. And what's nice about this actually is if you end it and say they try to poke immediately after, you could actually punish them with your mid here, assuming you get the spacing correct. So that's a punish. So Johnny can really just punish a lot of things, like if they're pressing too much or at the wrong time. So the main usage of this, forward 1, 2, 4, like I said, it's unsafe on block. It doesn't do a ton of damage. Is if like they're whiffing, like you catch them whiffing, because Johnny's movement is really strong. You know, you can move if you're pretty good at wave dashing. You can get used to like moving in and out like of range pretty fast. So if you catch them whiffing, like you can just fly in, dash forward, forward 1, 2, and you get a little combo off that. And it's good too, just because like Johnny has a lot of corner carry, so from like mid-screen, we're practically in the corner here. You know? So that's gonna be like your main whiff punisher, is like forward 1 here. Like I'm not amazing at the dashes, but you can cover a lot of distance. Like even that was still punished. So if you're fighting someone that like maybe wants to like do a setup or like throw a projectile, you know, you could fly in from pretty far. So that's the main usage of that button there. Next up we got 2-1-2. So again, this could be like another stagger. This button's also +4. So you could do the same thing where, you know, stand 2 to the mid. It'll beat the down 1. Just like that. Then it's got 2 enders, so 2-1-2, high mid overhead. It's gonna be his meterless launcher. 2-1-4-4. It's gonna be high mid low overhead. The low is like technically unsafe, but most people aren't gonna be pressing during it because they're gonna be blocking for the overhead. But this would be like your low hit confirm, so you know, if they're conditioned to just block the overhead over and over, you know, you go for the low. And there you go. 2-1-2 is safe on block, even though it is a launcher, which is I don't want to say uncommon, but a lot of launchers are generally like unsafe if you were to just do them on block. Johnny's isn't. The only thing you gotta worry about here is how does this work? There we go. That's kind of a funky thing that it doesn't actually block the other attacks, but it can be up blocked, and then you get punished right there, -21. So there is like a little mind game there. They can go for an up block and get a big punish on you. So that's something to keep in mind. Next, he's got back 2. Back 2 is something you can either tap or fully charge. It's mainly something you'll use in combos with certain cameos. It's not really something too much to worry about now. 3-3 is high overhead. It's not really like that great to do because it doesn't lead to anything. It's just a knockdown. Back 3 -13, so it's really unsafe. But what's good about back 3 is it's one of the best anti-airs. So if I put him, let's see, default. So Johnny's stand 1. Let's clear all this stuff off the screen for a second. Johnny's stand 1 is a really good anti-air, right? But let's say instead of just jumping in, they're like jump kicking, right? Because sometimes my anti-air will lose to that, depending on the jump kick. Now back 3 will almost always beat like a jump kick, because it just hits so high up on the screen. So if you know they're going to jump in and do an attack, that's where you use back 3. And it's going to win more times than it doesn't. Now, I think we only got a few more moves left, so we got pretty much just these ones. So 4-3-2-1, it's his mid, it's mid. The full string will kind of like launch them in a weird way. All you can really get off that is like a shadow kick. If you were going to hit confirm it, you know, you would just do 4-3-2, and then you would do your launcher. And then it also has a 4-3-4, which hits overhead, and it is safe. It's -6, but there's a gap there, so they can't interrupt it. Stand 4 is okay actually. Like, if you ever want to use like stand 3, just press stand 4 instead. Stand 4 is +5 on block. So you can just like get some plus frames, dash up, throw, dash up mid. But if you do stand 4-4, you're +15. After that, you know, you could do the same thing. You just dash up mid, dash up throw, dash up 2-1-2. You know, you can do whatever you want. Same deal as the mid though. It's got a gap, so they can't interrupt it. And then last button is this forward 4. It's an overhead. It's safe. It's kind of reactable, so most people won't get hit by it, but it is something you can do. And it'll lead to like a little combo. If I can do it. Not much damage, but it's alright. But the real strength of this button is it'll like jump over their pokes sometimes. So if I have him doing like a poke here, let's see if this works. Something like that. I mean, it's kind of hard to showcase, but it's hard to back up without getting the shadow kick, but you get the idea. It's something like you could approach, and if they're trying to like poke to keep you away, you know, you could kind of leap over their poke there. So it's okay. I mean, it's not a bad button to use. So that's all his standard buttons. For his aerial attacks, the only one to really worry about is going to be this. So in whenever you bring them in the air, you can use this 2-4-4 for your combos. So I guess we should get into, let's do the specials and then we'll talk about combo structure. So I'm just gonna tag the important ones. He's only got a couple important ones, so you know, ball buster, nut punch, whatever. Signature move. You're gonna end like every combo with it because it gives you a safe jump. And if you don't know what a safe jump is, that just means you can jump in and continue your offense, and they can't interrupt you with an up block or with an attack. And if they try to armor, you'll also break the armor. So just like that, breaks his armor, and just loops into the same situation over again. So they're not allowed to armor. They can delay wake up though. And that will beat you just trying to continue your button. They're still not completely safe because you can just do the mid. But you shouldn't just autopilot do your 2-1-2 every single time. So say they're not delaying and they're not armoring. You would think you could just do this every single time, right? But you do want to be aware that they can do something like this. So if he goes for the safe jump, they can still up block your... What's happening here? So they can still up block, you know, your overhead if you just go for it every single time. Or they could, you know, even delay wake up and then micro duck your first hit, you know. So you do have to worry about just autopiloting that every single time, because it will get you killed at some point. So just keep that in mind. You know, if you're afraid of the up block, you could always do the low, but you should really try to like hit confirm it when you're jumping in, because you get 3 hits to hit confirm it as you're jumping in, you know. Nut punch, hold forward and jump, and then as you land, you're gonna do 2-2. Like as you're falling, you're gonna do 2-2-1, and then after that, you could do the low, you could do the overhead. Look, it unfavorited some of the moves. So that's nut punch, very good for ending your combos. You should almost always end your combos with it. Next he's got enhanced show off. It's like a parry. Don't go for it too much unless you're making like a hard read, like someone's gonna, you know, meet you on wake up, or like you're gonna interrupt a gap in a string with it. I don't know if Reiko even has like something with a big enough gap to be like this. That didn't work. Yeah, I don't know if Reiko has anything with like a big enough gap to actually punish that, but that's what you would use it for. You would just find a gap in their string, and you would go for a parry. It does pretty reduced damage though. I mean, the one thing you could do with it is like, you could go for like a down 1 into parry. So say they're trying to punish your down 1. You could do like down 1 parry, right? And I think you can get a punish off this if you use the enhanced one. Yeah, it's kind of tight timing, but it just does like pretty reduced damage though, so it's really not the best thing to use, but you could pull it off like once or twice in a match and probably get away with it. Next one, Enhanced Rising Star. That's his launcher. So off of like 4-3-2. Off of 4-3-2 or 2-1-4, you're going to use this to launch. Shadow Dash is something I don't really use too much, but you can kind of like move around a bit more. You can do it when you're just like staggering, pressure, you know. You can like actually like make their down 1 whiff sometimes, like you do like this. Maybe not, actually. Oh, like that. I mean, it doesn't have too much use, but, you know, you could do maybe some cameo gimmicks with it. Enhanced Shadow Kick, that's going to be his armor. So, his 1-hit armor, it goes, like, probably 80% of the screen. It's really quick. Obviously, it's unsafe on block. Another thing to note is it's a high. So as you can see here, Reiko's down 1-ing, and he's just ducking the Shadow Kick. Oh, I had no meter. That's why it wasn't working. So yeah, keep that in mind. It can be ducked. It is unsafe if it's blocked. And his last thing is the hype special. Every special that you do will build up hype. And if you press stance button, left trigger, at the end of a special, you'll do like a hype building one. So like that, you'll build hype, and that little star in the bottom left corner will fill up, and then you can activate it by doing the special, and then you can chain like 3 specials in a row. That's for like more advanced combos. You know, you can get really creative with it. But that's not really much to worry about for now. Now that we know all the specials, all the buttons, let's do basic combo structure. So mid screen, you know, if you land 2-1-2, you're gonna do 2-1-2, jump 2, 2-1-2, forward 1-2 nut punch. And most of his routes are gonna look the same, because they're gonna be fairly similar. I'll show that one again. 2-1-2, jump 2, 2-1-2, forward 1-2 nut punch. And then off of the mid, you're gonna do forward 3-2, EX, rising star. Then you could do jump 2, 4, forward 1, nut punch. Which looks like this. Or you can do jump 1. That's technically the most optimal, is you would do 4-3-2, jump 2, and then another jump 2, and then 2-1-2, forward 1-2 nut punch. It has a pretty high chance to drop though, if you mess up like the timing a little bit. So you can also just do it like this, you know. And I'd recommend this like if you're newer to the character. Just 4-3-2, jump 2, dash forward, 2-1-2, forward 1-2 nut punch. That's gonna be like the easiest one to pull off consistently. The thing about Johnny is since you're ending every single combo with the nut punch, you wanna almost always be taking this safe jump that the nut punch is giving you. So you got a couple ways to layer your offense. Because you're so plus, you know, you can do like whatever you want a lot of the times. Like you're gonna make them respect you by blocking a lot. So you get to press a lot more than normal. And if they start just down one-ing, you know, they're disrespecting, you know, that's when you're gonna start like jailing your mid and making them block. But Johnny's also good at like outspacing, like, you know, forward 1, you could backdash. You could even do that with the mid, I think, like, depending on the down 1. Obviously when the AI mashes it down 1, it's hard to outspace it, but people aren't going to be doing that consistently. But yeah, you can just weave in and out of like attack range. You can make them afraid of your throws. You do have like pseudo mix. Good players will block it because you can fuzzy like the overhead and the low consistently. But you do have like low overheads that will catch people occasionally. Like right here, if he tries to down 1, he ends up getting hit there. And the safe jump is just so good to go for, you know. It's just more guaranteed pressure essentially. So you should almost always take the safe jump. All you gotta do is just hold up and forward after the nut punch, and then just start your offense back again. So let's finish up on the mid-screen combos. So that you know the 2-1-2-1, you know the forward 3-2. Now if you can't open them up with the overhead and you're good at hit confirming the low, you could do 2-1-4 and then EX launcher and then just the same route as the mid. And safe jump. Now we'll talk about, we'll do one last one. So forward 1, you know, it's gonna be like your whiff punishing button, you know, as you're like kind of dancing around the screen. The combo is gonna be forward 1, 2, 4. Then you're gonna dash up, do another forward 1, 2, 1, 2, and then forward 1, 2 nut punch. Safe jump. Same deal. And the corner stuff slightly changes. You can get just a little bit more damage. So if you land a 2-1-2, it's gonna look like this. So the difference here is instead of doing the jump 2 after the 2-1-2, you're gonna backdash and do a stand 4, and then do another 2-1-2, and then end it with a 2-1-4 nut punch. See, if you don't backdash, it'll like whiff if you don't time it perfectly. So that's why I like doing the backdash. 2-1-4 nut punch. And if you want to spend meter to do more damage here, you do this. Right into the safe jump. That's what you can do for more damage. The rest of the routes are going to be like fairly similar. You just end with 2-1-4 nut punch instead of the 4-1-2. So off the 2-1-4 or like the mid, you know, you can jump, do 2-4-4, and then end it with 2-1-4, like that. It'll kind of come naturally once you get used to like just hitting the mid-screen combos and stuff. Like you're just adding a slightly different ender. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, you want to just land like one mid-screen combo. It'll carry them to the corner. You just want to keep your corner offense going so you can open them up eventually, and they'll probably disrespect the safe jump one time, try to armor, you break the armor, hit them for, you know, 36 or whatever into another safe jump. And if they're just blocking all day, you know, you can always go for a throw. Dash up, bait armor, you know, another combo. And the same rules apply, you know, like if they block, you know, block your stand 1, you could jail it into the down 1 and just get same thing, just going back as always, you know. See that whole sequence there? So if you're fast enough, you can punish their down 1 with your down 1, which will kind of force them to block your pressure again. So you could just do a sequence like this. Oh, let me do it better. Safe jump, blocks it all. I didn't punch the down 1. You just keep them here, you know? Like, if they're just trying to press down one to get out. Because eventually they're going to stop, because this mid is just going to keep opening them up over and over and over. So now that we know some combos, let's talk about Kameos a little bit. So he's pretty well rounded. He's got a couple good teams. You could probably play anything that you want. Kung Lao is probably one of the best starter ones because it just gives you a projectile, which he lacks. So you get like full screen presence a little bit. You can also tack it onto the end of your strings like this. So instead of doing low overhead there, you could just do low low. And if it hits, it's going to be essentially plus 19 on hit, so that allows you to dash up and just do your mid again, you know. And you can also set up the hat here after a nut punch, right? And then off the forward 3-4 ends in an overhead, right? So you go for low overhead mix there. And the combo, if that lands, would look something like this. Go for a safe jump. You know, just keep limitless pressure going here. And it'll just flow once you just play more of the character, you know. So Kung Lao's pretty good. He doesn't give him like a throw combo or anything, but he gives him a projectile. It's more pressure, you know, they'll probably get hit by this low a few times. It'll give you a meterless launcher as well. You do 2-1-4 into this. And it gives you the hard to block pull as well. So whenever you end with this, you know, you can just set this down. Assuming you're not already in the corner. You know, you could jump in, low overhead that way. Carry him to the corner. If you're in the... So if you're mid-screen, the jumping one might be a little bit better. If you're in the corner, like you really got them respecting, you could always just set the hat down and just go for this. In the corner, you know, combo's gonna look like hold the hat, forward 3-4, back 3, 2-1-2, 2-1-4, nut punch. Safe jump. You know, so all that stuff, it's just gonna start flowing at some point once you get comfortable with the strings and the specials and all that. Because all the combos are gonna end roughly the same. It's either gonna be 1-2 nut punch mid screen or 2-1-4 nut punch in the corner. And the rest of what you do will just kind of depend on which routes you like to take. For other cameos, he's got a lot of good teams that he can play. Bavado's another pretty good one because it'll give you a combo off your armor. This. It'll give you a combo off this. So now suddenly they have to worry about that low actually leading to a combo. Even something like this, I guess, would give a combo, like completing the full mid-string. You can also probably get a throw combo. I don't actually know what the best corner or throw combo here is, but probably something like this. Oh, you could probably get more actually. Not a ton of damage, but sets up another safe jump. It also helps you get in if someone's like zoning you a lot. If you back Kameo. Another thing about the mine as well, like you could just do something dumb. You know, you could do like 214 launcher, and if they're blocking, it'll keep you safe. But the main strength is really gonna be that like just instant, almost like shadow kick combo. And you can get some pretty good damage off this team too, you know. If I can get Movado to come out. You could maybe even get a second one there, but it's probably not worth using it. You know, there's a lot of different routes you could do. You could just get pretty much 40 off any hit. I don't really play this team at all, but you know, it's there. Another team you could play, you know, you could play Striker. He's really strong right now. I don't have any experience with him, but you could essentially just do something dumb, make it safe, you know. I don't know the exact combo for this, but something like that. That's gonna be the basis of like any team with Johnny that lets you play dumb. Is you're gonna do 214 into like the regular launcher, not the EX one, because normally you can't combo off it, right? But with some of the cameos, they'll make you safe and let you combo off of it. And Striker also has like gunshots. I'm sure Johnny could probably get like something with this. The EX nut punch costs 2 bars, but it leaves him standing, so you could like maybe combo off of it. Not a ton of damage, but you would mainly just use it to keep yourself safe. Sub-Zero is a pretty good team. I also don't play this one. I mainly just play either Tremor, Lau, or Janet. What you could do with this team. So you can see the hype meter down there is empty, right? So off any hit that you get, go into Sub-Zero freeze, and you can build up your hype that way. And there's probably combos where you can build up the full meter. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure, but it's a good team, you know, it gives you Ice Vest, so you're immune to projectiles, because that's going to be a weakness, as you're going to get zoned out sometimes. It does give you this, which is just like another ender that you can do for your strings. Best thing about Sub-Zero, besides the freeze, is you're going to get this parry. So on knockdown, let's just say... Okay, let's say Reiko. How can I just do easy safe jump combo. Just like this. Let's say Reiko combos me and goes for a safe jump. I think the Sub-Zero armor will actually beat it. Okay, maybe not because it's too tight of a timing. But the Sub-Zero armor actually will just parry attacks. And then off of that, you can get your own combo. So again, it's almost like the Johnny Cage parry where if they have any kind of gap, you could interrupt it with that freeze. And it's also good to do like on knockdown. So like if he knocks me down and then tries to hit me with the mid here, I could do that as like a get up attack. And then it makes him like have to respect my wake up a little bit more. Tremor is going to be his best team because it gives you really good combo extension and it keeps stuff safe. So you could do, you know, dumb stuff of course, like 214 launcher on block. Which is normally -12 on save, but with Tremor, you know, that's 0 on block. It just depends on when you time it. That's +6. So if they're trying to interrupt you here, you know, it'll keep that safe, or it'll even launch depending on the timing. And you know, you could even outspace off of that if you're really trying to get crazy. Although it might be pretty hard to do against some characters. Yeah, if you just delay it enough, you could just get a launch, or you could keep your move safe. You can also do, you can get like combo extension off it as well. So in the corner, you can actually use your charged back 2. Timing's a little tricky, but you have to do it like right as you're standing back up. I don't know why I can't get it. But at the very least, you know, you could just use them to make stuff safe. Give you a launcher, otherwise. What you could also do is like down 1 special, okay? So if I down 1 and he pokes back, I could do down 1 rising star. Then use Tremor to get a combo. And then if he doesn't press anything back, I just make it safe. I'm +12 right there. So back to being my turn, you know. You can also get a throw combo, I think. I'm not exactly sure how it would work. It might just be a quarter only thing. And then you also get access to everything Tremor has, you know, so you get the crystalline armor, you just do whatever you want. Not really punishable except by like a fatal blow. Um, yeah, it mainly shines with keeping stuff safe. It gives you HP. It gives you combo extension. Gives you really high damage, actually. And you can't do like the back two thing in the corner. I can't seem to get it. But I'll show you kind of what I was trying to do with Janet. Janet is the team I mainly play with Johnny because it just gives you a ton of damage. Like off any hit, you're getting 40 plus. I don't know, the stage like feels short or something. Like I feel like I'm in the corner so quick. Okay, and then that time it doesn't drop. And right there you could even get another shadow kick. If I hit for like 43 or something. 42. What else can you do? You could just end with, 42 damage into a safe jump, carry him to the corner like that. You also get a throw combo. That's like the idea behind it. You can do triple, Janet punch, charge back 2. You make the 2-on-2 whiff so only the last hit lands. And then forward 1-2 nut punch. That's a 20% throw combo. It's not bad at all. And then the main strength is like once you get him near the corner, that's when you can start going for like some charged back 2s, So you hit him with like this, Do typical combo here. Charge back 2. So you gotta alter your combos a little bit. This team. That's 45 there. Another neat trick is when you get that charge back 2. Put him on get up mode. Let's try this. Or no, let's try forward. 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 And close. Actually, no, let's just do get up mode. Jump. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, so in the corner, if you're able to land that charge back 2, and you have fatal blow, you can do like kind of a unblockable fatal blow setup. Now the trick here is with Johnny's fatal blow, obviously it's a parry, so if they try to attack you, you'll parry their attack. But if you look at his belt, the second it shines, like right there next to his fist, the attack becomes unblockable. So sometimes they might just stand here, and they'll just be blocking. And it's actually unblockable, so normally it's just a mid, right? charges long enough, unblockable. So you can kind of set that up with like Tremor or Janet. And this. Go for this. And then boom. That was like perfect timing right there. Where it's unblockable, it still would parry if they go for an attack, but if they try to jump over, then it'll still catch him as well. So right there he tried to jump. Let's have him like do a down one or something. See, so if they go for an attack, it'll lose. If they just block, it'll lose because it's unblockable. And I showed earlier, if they try to jump out and you time it properly, it'll still lose. So really they have to either like delay wake up and then use like a Kameo to interrupt you or something like that. Like a Kameo wake up would be probably the way to beat it. And then last two teams, Goro, same as Tremor. You just do something dumb, make it safe. That's pretty much all there is to say with them. You can get more creative with them, but that's like the basic use. Kano, same deal, do something dumb, keep it safe. Except you're not getting a combo with Kano for the most part, like you are with Goro and Tremor. And then Johnny Chameleon's a pretty cool team because Chameleon's just so versatile. You do just a lot with her, you know, you could get like nut punch extensions. Might only be a corner thing, I'm not really sure. Yeah, just the utility of Chameleon is really good. So like Glaive obviously sets you up nicely for some combos. Gives you like mid-screen presence. You can get a combo off of like this with the Sai. There we go. It's just like a funky timing. You could do some like weird mix with the Chameleon overhead. It seems just, it's alright. It's nothing special. You get Glaive. Glaive is good for full screen presence. It's just gonna be like a fun, like, keep you on your toes kind of team, like, cause you're always thinking about what you can do with the Chameleon that you have. That's pretty much it. I mean, he's pretty versatile. He's just got amazing plus frames, good buttons, a free safe jump off every combo. So yeah, really just focus on like trying to outspace something. You don't want to just run in and just be pressing buttons constantly. I mean, you can definitely do that and it'll work, but you want to make sure you're also not afraid to play like a little bit of spacing and try to catch them like whiffing something. Because if you're just constantly up on them the whole time, you might get armored a bunch or whatever, or they'll interrupt your pressure sometimes. It's okay to kind of like dance at like this mid-range, because no one else is really going to have the movement that you do, so you can just fly in. Especially if you have a Kameo that helps too, you know, you can throw Glaive. you get throw combos, that's even better, you know. It's all about kind of moving around, mixing up your offense, that kind of deal. The only other thing I haven't talked about is the Fatal Blow. It's a parry. Does a lot of damage. And if you want to combo into it, it's really simple. It's just going to look like this. So if you mash during the Fatal Blow, you get more damage. This is 549. And that's just forward 3-2, enhance rising star, jump 2, dash forward, stand 4, then Fatal Blow. And you can do the same thing off of 2-1-4. Just like that. It's gonna do roughly the same damage. But he's high damage. Just don't be afraid to... I'd say the biggest mistake of Johnny is just like... just always being in their face. Don't be afraid to like take a step back, you know. And just like breathe for a second and look for like a whiff punish, you know. Because you don't always, like obviously if they're zoning, you're gonna have to walk them down. But you don't always have to be sitting here just like, just in their face. You can be, for sure. Especially if you have a Kameo that lets you do like down one mind games. Like Goro, for example. Then yeah, for sure you could just do all that same dumb stuff that someone like Tremor lets you do. And get a full combo off of it. But eventually you're gonna run out of those resources, like Goro has a very long cooldown. So that's the name of the game with Johnny. Keep your offense flowing. Don't be afraid to look for whiff punishes. You have very high damage. Use your plus frames to your advantage. Try to jail them if they're poking constantly, and then if you can't open them up, mix in some throws as well, you know. Probably missed a bunch of things because obviously it's hard to remember everything all at once, but this should be good enough for like a beginner Johnny Cage guide. So just let me know if there's anything else that I missed that I should have touched on a little bit.